one of the questions she asked me was, so where have you played a part in this? Which, of course, when you've gone through that, you don't want to hear that, right?
Pouring salt on the wound there, isn't it? Yeah, a little bit, right?
It was like, what? And I remember, I mean, I actually had feelings of wanting to punch her because I was so angry that she had dared to not, feel sorry for me or take my part and any of that. And she'd given me my 2 sessions of indulgence. And then she was like, it's time to really try and help you get stronger. And so she asked me those questions, and I did go away and I would write in my journal and I would try to answer those questions. Like, why had I attracted that? Why was I still going through so much trauma, and so on and so on? But then alongside that, I also had to get very practical. I needed to make more money to improve, because I had a baby on the way and I wanted to give my child a good life. That's what I knew.
How old were you at this point, this moment? I know you left South Africa at 20. Now, what age are you now?
30 years old.
Starting over.
30 years old, starting over.
Wow.
So I had the 9, almost 10-year relationship with my daughter's father. And so I was 30 years old, starting over. And I guess that's one of the other message. It's never too late to start over, right? If you do need to make changes in your life, it's never too late. It takes a little bit of courage. Actually, it takes a lot of courage to start over. But I was determined. All I knew is, you know what? I also found out early in the pregnancy that I was having a daughter. So there was something that drove me. I was like, I do not want my daughter to see me as a victim of life. That these bad things that happened to me. I didn't want her to see me as a victim of life. And so I was very determined to make things change, to improve in life. But it wasn't easy. And one of the things, when I started to do an analysis and looked at my life, I was like, I need to make more money and to get rid of the debt. So what I did was I started to approach hiring people and recruiters. I'm like, who are the people that can help me get better jobs? And it was hiring people or recruiters. And so I went directly to them and started to pick their brains, ask for help. I would take them out for coffee. I didn't have a lot of money at the time because I was clearing debt, but I would save in little pockets, and then I would invite people out for a coffee and start asking them questions. That's where I started. And I will say most of them were generous.
So what kind of questions what kind of information were you pulling out of these people over coffee? That's a really great idea, by the way. Build on that a little bit.
Yeah. So what I did was I said to them, look, in my head, I was like, I need to make an extra $15,000 to $20,000 a year. That was quite a big jump, right, back then.
Big time. Yeah.
And I said to them, how do I improve my resume and how do I improve my interview skills? And they would give me tips. Like, for example, with the interview skills, one of the recruiters said to me was, try to be sharp and compelling when you answer your questions. Don't waffle. Do not, they said to me, remember who the person is that you're talking to in an interview. They are a very busy hiring manager, or they're a busy recruiter. So you need to be mindful of their time. When you simply show the awareness of their time and you get really good at giving an answer in sort of 2 minutes or under, you're going to start getting people's attention, because most people go into interviews and they waffle and they talk for 5 minutes or they talk for 6 minutes or whatever and they don't understand that an interviewer has a certain number of questions they want to ask you. And if they don't get to ask all their questions, they left incomplete in terms of deciding if you're the right fit for their company. And I was like, wow, I never really thought about it like that. So
absolutely.
I started to practice, and I would be talking to myself in the mirror. I would be talking to the baby when the baby was bouncing in the bounce. And I was like, I don't care who I'm talking to, but I'm going to time myself. I'm going to see if I can give an answer in 2 minutes or less. Now, with everything in life, when you practice something, you get better at it, better and better. And so I just practiced. I also wrote and rewrote my resume a gazillion times. Fortunately for me, I love words. I've always loved words. When I struggled in South Africa, I would often journal, I would write poetry. So words were kind of like a way for me to process things. So I became
Yeah.
good at writing because I wrote so much. I wrote little short stories, poetry, novels, all these type of things. Never ever published them, but I wrote them for myself, and I wrote them as a way to process my emotions. So I started to channel my ability with words into resume writing.